This is Liverpool's squad depth going into the 26-27 Premier League season. I'm looking around, we've got everyone. This is completely injury free, which is obviously unrealistic. We're going to go through it. I'm going to complain about it because we could be in real trouble this season. Um, the obvious concerns come from the fact that we're a little bit light in a lot of position groups and there's not long left in the transfer window. And also the change in intensity from slot to Iraola is likely to cause injuries, even if they're just minor. If you lose some important players like Isak, maybe Wirtz, Szoboszlai, stuff like that, we're a little bit iffy. Mentioned it, biggest flex. Comment replied on a George Scaife video. Check that on the screen right now. Um, but no, the way I like to measure the depth of a team is each position group, attack, midfield, defense, inject two hypothetical injuries into it. I'll do the defense first as an example. Let's say we lose Jeremy Jacquet to injury and we lose Connor Bradley to injury because he's already injured. That leaves us with one right back, two centre backs on the right, two centre backs on the left, two left backs. So four centre backs in total, two left backs and a right back. See, Gomez can come out here, or can come out here. But again, if you just brought in another right back, that would leave you a lot more defensively sound. So I'm getting stuff. There we go. Um, a lot more defensively stable because if you look at the likes of Frimpong, Bradley, Gomez, Leone's just back from a big injury. Frimpong and Gomez are known to pick up knots very often. So let's bring back Bradley. Let's bring back Jeremy Jacquet. And Joe Gomez is injured already. Giovanni Leone isn't available for game week 1. Hasn't been involved in preseason, still recovering from that injury. This is our current depth. And sorry, no, Bradley is very injured. Now let's say, with our current depth, we inject just one hypothetical injury of Jeremy Frimpong, and suddenly it's just Araujo, Jacquet, Van Dijk, Tsimikas, Kerkez, which doesn't leave you in a good position, especially with the intensity of Areola. If this back four starts, by the time we get to 70, 80 minutes, if we're chasing the game, these players are going to be absolutely knackered, and it's going to force us to maybe bring on Endo at centre half, or Gravenberg at centre half, or Szoboszlai at right back. And it's just not what you want. Whereas if you add in one extra defender, let me bring in a little yellow counter, and ideally a right back, suddenly, so you've got your very reliable players who don't pick up injuries, such as Szoboszlai and Van Dijk, are the two main ones in question. And you look at that extra right back, and suddenly you've got Araujo who can cover both of these positions, Tsimikas backing up Kerkez, and Van Dijk just trusted to play the full 90, as he has been for many, many years now. So, defence, final verdict, a right back, please, and thank you. Do I think that'll happen? No. Do I think we should have kept hold of Calvin Ramsey just in case? Yeah, probably. Um, I don't really see any upside to him leaving. Maybe for himself it was better, but from a club point of view, um, I don't really get it because we didn't. It's not like we got a fee for him or a big fee at that. I think we might have left on loan, so we can recall him if we really need to. Um, I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of his departure. Probably should. And then we move ourselves to midfield, another area which calls for concern. And I think it calls for concern in the sense that maybe we need to, maybe not. Okay, so let's say everyone's fit. We inject our two hypothetical injuries of McAllister and Nione. That leaves us with Endo and Bestetic backing up Gravenberg, McConnell backing up Szoboszlai, and Elliott backing up Florian Wirtz. And then you inject current injury into Stefan Bestetic. You've just got Endo backing up Gravenberg, Endo known to pick up a knock. His legs are getting on, a little unreliable. Um, but again, we've got our hypothetical injuries there. But again, if you get to sort of 60 minutes, Gravenberch, you've seen it in pre-season, his legs are he's not equipped to running this much at this moment in time. Who knows? Maybe his legs will improve, but for now, you're going to want to bring him off. And I just don't think Endo's an effective replacement to come on. If you've got everyone fit, you can bring on Nione, Aesthetic to come on. Maybe even McAllister in that number 6 role. But I think the biggest that if one of those injuries, let's say for example Florian Wirtz picks up an injury, suddenly Szoboszlai's forced out here. You've just got McConnell backing up McAllister, and it's just you've got Szoboszlai out of position, and it's just not really what you want. I envy Arsenal a lot because they can chuck out a whole second 11 and everyone can be in their most comfortable position. For example, Odegaard's injured, they just bring on Eze. Exact same. They both like that number 10 role. Rice gets injured, you bring on Lewis Skelly. Guimaraes is injured, you bring on Zubamendi. You know, Havertz, Gyökeres, Madueke, Saka, Solis, Martinelli, and then we've back four is just ridiculous. I don't know where we were for Ezri Konsa, but he would have been a player I'd have loved to bring in. Now, an area with so in midfield, final verdict by Archie Gray. Mentioned that in the last video. Check that out if you haven't already. Midfielders to replace Curtis Jones. And I think Archie Gray. So he can play in the 6, can play in the 8, can play at right back, can play centre back, and it kind of kills 4 birds with 1 stone. And then, God, attack. I would have loved Magnus Agliush to start as a right winger to cover in the 10, because he can play there as well. However, that is out of the question. Now, if we look at our attacking options, Ekatike is currently injured. Everyone else is fit. All it takes is for Isak to go down and we're starting Chiesa up front, or we're starting Gakpo up front. We just don't have enough quality. Like, a Liverpool front 3 should not consist of Munoz, Chiesa, Engamoa, or sorry, Munoz, Gakpo, Engamoa after 2 injuries. It just absolutely shouldn't because we're the biggest club in England. It doesn't make sense. Ekatike's not back to the new year, so I'm actually going to take him out completely. I'm going to do the same for Bradley, just from a visual point of view. Everyone else here is back or back relatively soon. Um, it's just, mm, it's just difficult to judge because obviously you don't want to bring in another superstar striker because then when Ekatike does come back, you're fucked because you've got. Well, it's a good problem to have, but you don't want 3 elite strikers. Maybe you do, but from the player's point of view, maybe not. Um, you kind of want. That's why I want another winger, and then you honestly just. I hope Gakpo's not out the door. But this Barcola deal just needs to get done, and I'll feel so much more confident in our attacking options. I genuinely feel if we just sign one player in each area of the park, if we sign one defender, ideally a right back, one midfielder, ideally Archie Gray, and one attacker, ideally Barcola, I would feel a lot more comfortable in our depth and our ability to compete in multiple competitions. But Iraola said in an interview today they're still a bit thin in the squad. It's not about what we have now, it's about what we have at the 1st of September. I would love to feel more confident, but unfortunately, I do not. I can smell a panic buy on deadline day. Something stupid like that. I don't know. Final transfer window predictions. I think we will get the Barcola deal over the line. I know there's a lot of doubt, but I can see it happening on deadline day, and I can see us bidding 90, 100, and PSG sticking at their 120 valuation. and we just give in completely and pay them 120. So yes, Barcola will happen, and I think someone just completely random and out of the blue will come in as a midfielder. I maybe Jakob Minter will get done as well. I think I saw something. It was some Brighton journalist has said, yeah, it's looking like it's gonna happen. I don't know. I don't feel great about it, but then again, as long as we address our other needs, having Jakob Minter there won't hurt. My concern is signing him and then not signing anyone else. That would be bad. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this little dissection of our debt, and if you like my two injuries theory, then do it for your own team, unless your team's Arsenal, because then I'll feel upset about it. But yeah, if you enjoy, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow for the Newcastle preview.